There's a kind of silence that doesn't comfort. It echoes. It lingers in hallways and clings to doorframes like a memory that refuses to fade. Not peaceful, but hollow. Like something used to live there. Like someone did. And then they didn't. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when the home felt alive. When laughter bounced off the kitchen walls, and love sat quietly in the corners. Unspoken but deeply understood. Jonas never fell in love recklessly. He was careful, thoughtful, the kind of man who measured his words and actions. His heart, once handed over too easily, had learned its lessons in pain. He carried that weight in silence, not with bitterness, but with caution. Then came Mara. She didn't arrive in his world with a whirlwind of drama or noise. She moved through life with steady intention, but there was a spark in her. A sharpness in her gaze and a warmth in her smile that made it impossible not to look again. She was curious, asked hard questions, twirled her hair when thinking too hard. And when she smiled, it felt like truth. Jonas, who had always played it safe, found himself slipping into gestures of quiet love, buying her favorite pastries when the sky was gray, tracking down a worn copy of a book she once loved as a teenager, scribbling encouragement on sticky notes tucked into her planner. He didn't need applause. His affection was steady, like the tea he brewed each morning before she woke. Mara, once used to men who promised the world and delivered silence, began to soften. Jonas didn't make big speeches. He just showed up again and again. When she got sick that first winter, he took time off work to stay home. Sat beside her bed, reading aloud, cooling her forehead, whispering bad jokes just to make her smile. No complaints. No resentment. "You're the first person who ever made me feel chosen," she whispered once in the dark. Jonas squeezed her hand and replied, "You are." They married one crisp autumn under falling leaves. Nothing extravagant, just people who mattered, vows kept simple. Life unfolded naturally. Their son, Leo, arrived first. Colicky and bright-eyed. His cries soothed only by Jonas' patient lullabies. 2 years later came Isla, their daughter, with lungs like thunder and a laugh that could undo anyone's worst day. Their home was never glamorous, but it was full. Blanket forts in the living room, takeout dinners that turned into dance parties, movie nights, fading Polaroids taped to the fridge. Jonas collected it all, ticket stubs, notes, drawings, as if he could archive happiness. But life, as it does, moved forward. The changes came quietly. Mara, once light-hearted, became distant. Not cold, just somewhere else. Jonas blamed exhaustion. Parenthood could wear anyone thin. He leaned in harder, did more around the house, planned dates, bought her wine just because it was Wednesday. But no matter what he did, she stayed somewhere he couldn't follow. Until the night she broke. She sat on the edge of the couch, knees drawn up, fingers clutched tight around a pillow. Her voice barely a whisper. "I slept with someone." It wasn't a scream. It didn't crash into him. It sank. The world he had built, slowly, carefully, with love in every brick, buckled inward. She tried to explain, said it didn't mean anything, that she was lost, confused, caught in a moment. But to Jonas it meant everything. He didn't shout, didn't collapse. He walked down the hallway, returned with a pillow and a folded blanket, set them gently on the guest bed. His voice didn't waver. "You'll sleep here tonight." Not anger, not forgiveness, just a boundary drawn in the ruins. That night, she cried alone while the silence in the house thundered around her. Jonas stayed still. The next morning, she made breakfast. He drank his coffee, said nothing, never looked at her. Later, she sat down and wrote him a letter. Pages of regret and honesty. No excuses, just truth. She left it on his pillow. That evening, the letter was gone. In its place, a single sticky note. I read it. 3 words. No softness in them. Jonas began to shift. He didn't raise his voice. He just stopped meeting her where she stood. He still laughed with the kids, still made dinner, but the spark in his eyes was missing. He moved like a man with a clock ticking in his head. She rearranged her schedule, cut contact with the man she had betrayed him with, suggested therapy. For the kids, he said flatly. In sessions, Mara opened up, spoke of emptiness, of feeling invisible, of the way validation from a stranger had briefly lit something inside her. Jonas listened, quietly. When asked for his thoughts, he responded only, "That doesn't erase what happened." She tried, again and again. One night, she recreated their wedding dinner, same playlist, same dessert, photos on the walls. Jonas looked around, nodded politely. "You've always been good at setting a scene." Then he walked away. She didn't cry until the bedroom door clicked shut. Eventually, she stopped trying, until a new name surfaced. Tessa. Coworker. Friendly. Safe. First, Mara brushed it off. Then the kids started mentioning her more. How funny she was. How she liked the same movies. How she and Daddy went to the same dog park. Mara said nothing, just watched. One day, a friend tagged a photo from a community fair. Jonas stood with the kids, grinning like he used to. And there, just behind him, was Tessa, smiling too. That night, Mara stood in the kitchen and said, "You smile more when you're not here." He didn't argue. "I still love you," she added. He met her gaze for the first time in days. "But loving someone who doesn't love you back, it tears you apart," she said softly. "I want a divorce." He didn't plead, just nodded. "If that's what you want, I understand." The following weeks moved like a slow-motion goodbye. They told the kids, split schedules, filled out paperwork. Quiet, civil, heavy. Then Mara began feeling off. Nauseous, fatigued. At first, she blamed stress. Until the test showed otherwise. Pregnant. She counted the weeks. The timing lined up. That one night, in Hawaii, when the wall between them briefly crumbled. She thought about hiding it, then changed her mind. She met Jonas at a cafe, handed him the sealed envelope. He opened it, read the results, looked up. "It's mine?" he asked. She nodded. He sat for a long time silent, then slowly reached across the table and took her hand, not as a partner, but as the father of her child. "We'll figure it out," he said, and maybe that's where they remained. Not together, not broken, just two people walking a different road than they expected, bound by something still worth showing up for. Not every love survives. Not every mistake is reparable. But sometimes, in the aftermath, what remains is enough to begin again, just in a different way.